before I die, I will redeem that pitch.
All right.
But there's no sight, nothing in sight soon.
You gotta do it, Garrett.
New general manager there. I mean,
Oh yeah, I threw it poorly because Omar Minaya was there.
and Linda guy for everything else. But great question.
It's all Steve Phillips' fault.
It was back who's on Sirius XM.
That's right.
All right, let's get to the book. Who chose this picture and why for the cover?
So my editor Julie, who's on the side there, Julie said to me, we have a couple of ideas for the cover, but can you bring a bunch of pictures in? So they wanted pictures for the book also. I probably brought in about 100 pictures. I went through every photograph I had, family pictures. I thought of pictures that fit well for what was in the book. But in my mind, I thought they were coming to me with concepts. And oddly, I thought I was going to be in a photo shoot, sort of like some Fabio fans blowing my hair. And I thought they were coming to me with a concept that I would then go in for a photo shoot for. In fact, one of the early ideas for the book title that we didn't go with was going to be called I, Booey. And we talked about the idea of me dressing like a Roman god and all that stuff. So they said, we have some book covers to show you. And I actually thought they were coming to me with mock-ups of ideas to do. So they came to me, this was one of the covers, and I think there were like 3 or 4, and inside, that's my 9th grade yearbook photo, 1975, right around this time, so it's 35 years old. So inside the book, you'll see there's a picture of me in high school, more of a Saturday Night Fever looking thing, and that wasn't nearly as funny, and we did a cover like that. So I took it home, and everybody liked this cover, and I saw the humor of it. I had to decide, because at one point I'm like, well, write a book, it's my one chance to look like an author. So I took it home and I showed it all to my wife. My wife goes, I hate that cover. And I said, why? It's funny. She goes, Oprah says that you should take the book to bed with you every night, and the cover should be inviting. And I said, do you have any idea who you're married to? So that's, then I came to like it. I showed it to Howard on the air, and everybody liked it. But not only is the picture funny, everybody loves, the artwork just pops. Everybody just loves the way the cover looks, and I'm very happy with it.
You're not going to walk by that book in any bookstore. You can't look at a stop.
It begs to be cracked open.
Now,
by the way, I wore that shirt to impress Louise Del Priore in 9th grade, and it did not work.
No? Now, you brought up Howard, our boss, who we all love.
Yeah, Howard.
When you decided to do the book, what was it like letting Howard know about that? Because people ask all of us on the show, someone's going to write a tell-all, like, what happens behind the scenes, you have all this history with Howard. When you finally decided to do this, and this book isn't a tell-all, there's a lot of great show stories in there, but it's more about your family, your upbringing, what prepared you, what made you who you are. How did you approach Howard? Was it tough? Did you lose sleep? And how did he react?
Yes, and yes. I really did. I have a great relationship with Howard, but this was a big step because if you listen to the show, you know how Howard is about, he doesn't sell mugs, he doesn't sell T-shirts, and he doesn't want crap out there that people are buying with his name on it. So I've been offered books a lot of times before. Hey, could you tell a book about all behind-the-scenes stuff? And I said it's not my style. I'm not going to tell him to write a book that so-and-so picks his nose and so-and-so was in the green room and he was a jerk and all that stuff. So I knew what the book was going to be. I'd been around pitching it, and the book company had made me an offer before I could accept it. I really felt I needed Howard's blessing. And I was really nervous. I was in the office waiting for the right time of day to call him. I didn't want to bother him before he went to bed. I wasn't going to try to grab him after the show when he's dying to get out of there. So I called him and I had this whole pitch. I rehearsed it. In fact, I may have even rehearsed it. Is Richard around? Richard, my book agent, is here. But I may have rehearsed it. Richard called me and he goes, okay, calm down. Tell me what you're going to say. And he's like, that's good. So I called Howard, and Howard was very supportive of the whole thing. And I talked about it on the wrap-up show the next day. And then, of course, the next morning after that, we'll play those clips for Howard. And when Howard heard me recounting the story, he seemed genuinely surprised. He goes, oh, God, man, I didn't think it was that big a deal for you, but it was.
And along those lines, when you first came up with the idea for a book, it wasn't this book. However, you've been getting a hell of a lot of flack for what you included in this book from that original idea.
The original idea I had was going to be, I was pitching a book called Baba-Booey's book of rock and roll lists, essays, and arguments. And I've been posting some stuff on my website, like I had an essay on 10 bands that I think should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and 10 bands that I don't think should be in, and I had a lot of lists, quite a few lists. And, yeah. Oh, sorry, I thought you were talking to me. So that was the book that I was sort of pitching around, and then it became this book, but we still felt that as much as I'm getting crap about it on the air, that the fact that my love of music runs through the whole book, that those lists would be included in, some of those lists would be included in. And that's why I was getting a little prickly last week when Howard was like, oh, I see, the book company got desperate and shoved those lists in at the last second. It was never like that. Those lists were around before the book was written.
All right, here's a question from Alan from Brooklyn. Where's Alan?